Hi everybody, my name is Chad Barker. I'm going to show you today how to adjust drawer fronts and drawer boxes that are already inside of the cabinet. We're going to take this whole 4-drawer stack. At the moment it is nicely adjusted, fits perfectly. We're going to mess that up and then we're going to readjust them. Okay, it's pretty simple. Alright, so getting started, what we're going to want to do, I want to show you a little bit more about how our drawer boxes have adjustments, or how our drawer fronts have adjustments. Now if you look here, you can actually see that we have drawer front mounting screws. Now these drawer front mounting screws go through the drawer box and then into the back of the drawer front. Nice thing about that is that by loosening these screws just a little bit, you're going to be able to move that drawer front left and right and up and down. Usually it's about 1/4 inch adjustment up and down and left and right, and that's really more of a backup. So what you want to do is just get them attached, get them nice and level. There's other adjustments on the drawer guides which are a lot easier to adjust from. But worst case scenario, if you have any issues, you can always loosen these screws and then move that drawer front around just a little bit. If you can't get the drawer box adjusted just right using our locking device. Okay? Now, for this drawer stack, I'm going to show you how to get them the elevation, how to move them up and down, how to tilt them left and right. And that's going to be using this little tab right here on the locking device. And if you zoom into that little tab, you're going to see that we can push that tab by pushing it up. We can actually push it forward and back. And what that does is by pushing the forward, if we're looking at it like this, by pulling that tab forward, it's actually going to raise the drawer front up. By pushing that little tab back, it's going to raise it down, or lower it down. Okay? And that's how we're going to be able to get these things to be level, nice and level like you see here. We're also going to be able to get our 1/8 of an inch gap between our drawer fronts. And really starting at the bottom, we're going to work our way up. Okay? So let's get started real quick. What I'm going to do is I got a bunch of different drawer boxes here to get started with. And what I'm going to do is actually just pull these things out, and I'm going to mess up the adjustment. I'm going to make it really odd. See if I can get them to overlap each other. There's quite a bit of adjustment here. I think there's about 1/4 inch on each. Okay? Now let's try to close these things, see what happens. Perfect. All nice and messed up. Okay? So what we do is we're going to start off with the bottom drawer box. These things just clip right in, you see here. To remove them, you just pull the tabs, and basically you pull this one to this side and this one to this side. That's to get the drawer box out of the opening. We'll leave that here for reference. So let's start off with it. This is not adjusted very well at all. Now, you want to line them up, first of all, as much as you can, left to right, so they're all on a perfect, on the same plane. And we can do that at the very end. Right now what we're going to want to do is adjust our drawer box on the bottom to work our way up to the sequential drawer boxes. Okay? So starting off with the bottom drawer front's always going to be flush at the bottom of your cabinet. So what we want to do here, I'm going to remove this one so I can have a little bit more access to it. I'm going to flush out the bottom just feeling. I can feel that there's a little bit of a gap right there. So I'm going to push the tabs back just a little bit, and that's basically going to raise that drawer front up. I'm going to flush it out just perfectly down here at the bottom. So I've done that. I feel the gap is perfect here, and the gap is perfect here, equal on each side. I'm then going to put the second drawer box in. Now they're rubbing on the drawer box. So what I'm shooting for here is to get an 1/8 inch gap right here. Right now they're touching, so that's not good. And over here we have right about an 1/8 inch. What that's going to tell me is I need to raise this side of the drawer box up. And using that little tab, like you see there, I'm going to move it up just a little bit. And we're still rubbing just a little bit. I want to go up just a little bit more. And over there I'm going to bring this one down just slightly. Looks pretty good. I've got my 2 bottom drawer fronts now adjusted where they need to be. I'm going to move up to this one. Obviously the gap over here is bigger than it is on this side. So really what I need to do here is probably lower this down a little bit and increase that one up just slightly. I'm going to pull this one out. I'm going to lower this, or I'm going to increase the height there just a little bit. I'm using these tabs again. I'm going to lower this one just a little bit, see where I'm at. Close it down. Well, I think I'm still a little higher on this side. Okay, looks good. So I got a good gap right here. We're shooting for about an 1/8 of an inch. okay, between the drawer fronts. You kind of run your finger through there. Actually, I think this one's a little bit lower, so I'm going to move that up just a little bit. There we go. So it looks good. So we got our gap here is going to be equal to what it is here. Just use your finger and kind of feel it. You'll be good to go. Okay, up here, next drawer front up. I'm going to be looking here, looking for an eighth of an inch gap. It's roughly on there. I would say that I need to adjust it down just slightly on this side. If I go down too far, obviously, that's not right. So I'm going to adjust that thing back up just a little bit. And again, I'm still using these tabs. Pretty simple. Just a little trial and error. Or not. I think it's still just a little off. Maybe just a little bit more. And there's about a quarter of an inch adjustment, so you kind of have to take it and do a little trial by error like I'm doing here. Yeah, it might still be a little on there. I'm going to raise both sides up just a little bit. There we go. About an eighth of an inch gap between the two. Next thing you're going to do, this drawer front right here, I'm going to basically have that set up so that it's an eighth of an inch gap as well. So I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. Maybe down just a little bit on the side. Eighth of an inch, that's too big over on that side, so basically to lower this side of this drawer front. And what I'm doing, again, I'm just using those tabs. Yeah. So you kind of get the idea of the process here. It's just a little trial and error, try to get the drawer fronts to line up as closely as possible. Now, in some cases, you might have it to the point where let's say this drawer front is totally lowered, and you need it to be actually closer down to this drawer front here to get this gap smaller, down to an eighth of an inch. And in that case, what you're going to want to do is loosen these screws in the drawer front just a little bit. Don't unscrew them all the way. Just loosen them just a little bit, and then just use your palm. Just tap down a little bit, okay? And that's going to get that drawer front to sit down just a little bit lower on the drawer box, and that's going to get that reveal to be just right, just perfect, okay? So general rules, kind of a summary of what we did here. Start at the bottom, work your way up, get your drawer fronts mounted, get them tightened down, okay? And then just use the tabs on the undersides of the locking devices. And those are the easiest ways to do it. Anybody looking at it, these tabs and these drawer guides, that's the reason why we use these drawer guides, is the fact that they're so easy to adjust, and then these things, once they're adjusted, they're not going anywhere. Unless you get underneath there and you start messing around with the adjustments, but they can be easily readjusted to where you need them to be. Okay? So that's Drawer Front Adjustments 101, and if you have any questions, feel free to email us, give us a call. Thanks again, have a good day.